this up. Ohio woman accused of eating cat pleads guilty.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
An Ohio woman accused earlier this year of killing and eating a cat pled guilty to animal cruelty, Monday court records show. Allexis Ferrell in August pled not guilty to cruelty to companion animals after she was arrested and held on $100,000 bond. She switched her plea to guilty Monday after a lengthy court process, which included an evaluation of her mental condition. Ferrell received a sentence of 12 months in prison for the crime. Cleveland outlet WJW reported. She also reportedly sentenced Monday on probation violations in 2 separate cases, giving her an additional 18 months in prison. Ferrell's record shows previous cases related to cocaine possession, child endangerment, and theft. The woman was caught on body camera earlier this year by the Canton Police Department, hunching over the body of a dead cat. The clip was shared widely across social media. So this is the same woman who everyone was saying
was a migrant,
was a Haitian migrant that was eating the cats and eating the dogs in, at least just say eating the cats in Springfield, Ohio. But this woman's an American citizen, she's black. She's from Canton, Ohio. And, I'm not sure what she had going on, what kind of mental health issues she has going on. But what this tells me is that you didn't even try to do your due diligence because it was pretty easy to figure out what was going on here. And at the same time, if she can be mistaken for a Haitian, just a regular black woman, what can any black person be mistaken for then at that point in time?
Think about it. She just fit the narrative at the time. They were like, yo, someone's eating the cats. They thought it was a migrant. We're like, nah, she was a citizen. They're like, what? And people were like, well, still, same thing. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, people don't understand. I'm like, I know I'm going to have to walk around with my papers on me. I know what I have to do. I know my kids are going to have to walk around with our papers on it, which is going to be a horrible way to live. And then and once that happens, right, I don't have any friends that are minorities at this time. You know what I'm saying?
People will come out and they'll say something like, well, you should want to walk around with your papers on you. This is the kind of things that people will start to say. The same freedom loving. I won't wear a mask. I don't want to stand 6 feet apart. Why are these laws like this? Americans,
I'm gonna get them too. I'll be like, yo,
are going to be like, you should have your papers on you. That's no problem. Why don't you want to have to use your ID to vote? You never had to before. There's no problems with it before.
I think you should have your ID to vote.
I think
you do. I think you can't just walk up and say, hey, my name's John Smith and post up in there. You should have an ID to vote. That just makes sense. I got to have an ID to buy liquor. I got to have an ID to get on an airplane. You should have an ID to vote.
I don't think that it's just like you don't have to have any kind of form of paperwork at all. I think that, you know what I mean? Like, me personally, I think it's, if they have the information they need and there's no problems, there has been no problems. This guy just won with no ID. Voting, no problems with it.
I think you should have an ID to vote. That's kind of common sense.
I think most places you do. They're going to ask you for your ID.
I mean, I went to go vote this time. They're like, hey, this is my name. You got your ID? I'm like, yep. So if you didn't have your ballot, they wanted your ID because they're going to give you a ballot.
Exactly. I mean, so I think that there's just different kinds of you feel what I'm saying? Like, they're going to ask that question. But at the same time, to me, it's not a big deal, especially if it hasn't been a big deal leading up till now. Then what are we crying about it for? But bigger case in this right here, this woman got a year in prison for a mental health illness, obviously. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with her. She's eating a cat. Not a cooked cat. She didn't even take it. She didn't even take the fur off. Nothing. She's eating it the way that it was. I'm not even sure if she caught the cat and ate it and killed it. I don't know. But she just gave her 12 months in prison because she has a mental health illness, which doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. But you'll want to go to the Appalachians and give these kids or give these people, you know what I mean? Or any kind of drug court, whatever you can to keep them out of trouble, knowing that they have a drug problem. I won't even call that.
Well, that's why crime is so high right now. People don't understand. They're like, well, it's, you got Democrat countries. No, they started feeling bad for the kids that look like you and started giving them lenient times for court cases. So, I mean, I live by a police officer. He told me, look, out here in our county, it's the same 12 people stealing all the cars. Same 12 people. They just go to jail. They let them out. They're all Caucasian, European Americans. They let them out and they go right back to stealing cars and they go back to jail for 3 months and they get right out. It's the same 12 people stealing the cars. They had to get lenient because they had to, at first they were giving you the same because European Americans are the ones that are hooked on fentanyl right now. The majority of them, heroin, opiates, all that. And so they realized that they made the times hella bad for black folks, but they have to give Tommy the same time they're giving Tyrone. Tommy's getting caught with 3 pills. They got to give him 5 years mandatory minimum. So they changed those laws. But weakening the laws, now you got all these drug addicts in the streets that are being slaps on the wrist all their lives, committing crimes, continuing to commit crimes. They're not getting in trouble for it. But you're acting like, oh, this world's so bad. No, you did that to yourself because you're having leniency on these people that look like you.
Yep, creating drug havens. Look what they did down in Portland. So I mean, at the same time, hey, this is what's going on. But the bigger point to me is like, this woman can be accused of being a migrant. Anybody who with any kind of melanin in their skin is pretty much looked at as a migrant.
I told you what was going to happen. I told you I'm gonna flex on the first person. Be like, hey, show me your papers. I'll be like, bro, pow. Think about it. They can't tell us apart. No way. Just carry an eye patch on you. That's all you got to do.
Make sure you guys tune in with us on Friday for the Friday Night Fix, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
We talk about anything. You can join in on the conversation. We let us a town hall kind of sort of a conversation with no politics. You can bring it in. If you guys bring it in, we talk about it. But we're not talking about politics. We're not going to bring that up as a point of as a point to talk about. Then on Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do our weekly town hall where we discuss all the news that's gone on this week. We do a recap on it. You guys can join in on that conversation as well.